are back at it again on this very last day of the week that also doubles up as a holiday. Happy Mazingira Day to every single one of you from whichever part of the country and the world that you are watching us from. Now, this day is very significant as it has been set aside so that we can all collectively participate when it comes to the conservation of our environment, which has been degraded over time due to some of our activities such as deforestation and excessive use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides as well. And as you can see from our set today in studio, we did not come to play when it comes to all matters Mazingira Day. A very good evening, viewers, and thank you so very much for making time to join us this Friday, the 10th of October, right here on your #1 agricultural program, Kenya's Gold. And as is our norm, we do have an absolutely educative show lined up for you as we wrap up this week. My name is Mazingira, or the International Mkulima. So now with Mazingira Day, we do have a target of growing about 15 billion trees by 2032. Recently, right here on the program, we did have the honor of hosting Dr. Clement Ngoriereng, who is from the Kenya Forest Service, and he confirmed as of now, we have grown a total of 900 million trees. We still do have a long way to go, and that's why we have this day as a public holiday set aside for everyone to participate in tree growing. Now later on in the program, as you can see, tuko na tools hapa kwa set, tuko na seedlings, tuko na mchanga pale kando, we have our watering can, tuko na jembe, tuko na spade. We will be learning the correct way of growing trees. A lot of people start the project, unaeka ka seedling mahali, but your tree backfires. What are those mistakes that we make when it comes to growing trees? All that will be corrected on the program today. But before we get to that, let us educate you about how people in urban center, Watwa town, can also participate in all matters agriculture. Take a look at what we found. Happy Mazingira Day once again, and it's yet another time for us to get into a very interesting feature right here at Kenya's Gold. Na ukumbuke hii siku si ya kujivinjari ama kuenda out. We do have a responsibility of making sure that we are growing trees. Na nataka uniambie sai ni 6 p.m. How many trees have you grown so far? Please feel free to tell us on our comment section. Now we are here at Organic Kitchen Gardens at the Ngong Showgrounds, and we're here to learn so much about how all of us can get into urban farming, organic farming, and also grow some trees. Najua kuna wakulima wengi ambao wao wanasema ai jamani, mambo ya organic farming, pesto akikuja pale kwa shamba, what do you do? Right here on this feature, we will be giving you some of the solutions to that. So come along with me, let us meet a very young farmer of the day.
Hi, Ngina. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great.
Welcome to Organic Kitchen Garden.
I am so happy to be here.
Yes.
Everything looks fresh and nice
you.
and clean and organic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us here. Naona ni kama tayari.
I am doing some weeding and, you know, yeah, just like maintaining the kitchen garden.
Right.
Yes.
And this is what we're using.
This is what we're using.
Urban farmers.
It's urban farming. We slay while doing it, you know.
We slay while we're in the farm.
Yes.
Mtu asidhani ni ile ambao watoto wanaenda nao pale Mombasa
kucheza na sand. No. This is in folk.
Right.
Yes.
Shabet, before we even get into the details of urban kitchen farming and also the different designs, nataka tuniambie, as a young girl, hii passion yote, umetoa wapi?
So I grew up in a farm back in Eldoret, and that's where the passion for farming and growing my own food started, because we used to get everything, literally everything besides sugar and, you know, rice from our own garden. So what happened is I went to do my master's in Cape Town, and that is when I realized that food is different from what I have at home. So when I came back, then I decided to like, you know, try growing my own food. And also this happened around the COVID time. So it was also helping people grow their own food and eat healthy.
Right.
Since my backdrop is more in like public health.
Right.
Yes.
So when you say you went to Cape Town, you realized food is a bit different. What was that difference that you saw there yenye ikakufanya uone yenyewe ni kama sikuwa hata najua mambo ya chakula?
So what happened is I remember cooking minced meat. And it was so oily. I remember cooking it and rinsing it, doing it again and again. And it was just like, no, I don't think this is just like organic minced meat. And I could also tell that from like bananas and other fruits. So I actually became vegan because I was like, I can't do that meat when I was living in Cape Town.
Great. So when it comes to growing our own food, wanasema Nairobi ama wale watu ambao wanaishi kwa the cities, we cannot practice agriculture. But you're here to demystify that.
Yes.
How can urban people practice agriculture?
So as you can see, this is a very small space. This bed is about 3 meters. So this is about a 6 meter by 3 meter space.
All of this,
the entire space. So for my 6 by 3 meter space, you can just have a look at the vegetables.
Tuzione, wacha unajua kila kitu hapa. Mimi nataka kutafuta hizo ndo vitunguu.
Vitunguu. We have spring onions here. We have beetroot. Then we have spinach, skuma.
Na pia tuko
kuna dania hapa, kuna line ya dania huku ndani.
Dania hapa imejificha.
Yeah. Then we have cabbage, we have pineapple mint, we have rosemary.
Everything is here.
Exactly, in one bed.
Is here.
Yes.
Na hii ina feed familia tu vizuri hapa in the urban spaces.
In the urban space.
Right. But there's also something interesting happening here.
This is marigold. And marigold is one of the plants we use for pest control in organic farming. So as you can see, one, it attracts the useful insects like ladybird. So in organic farming, instead of spraying those aphids, then you attract ladybirds into the garden, which will now feed on those aphids. The other thing, it would repel the bad insects, like even aphids and what. So the smell is really, it's not nice. So if you plant it here, then some insects would just like stay away from the garden.
A lot of people have been trying to get into this, you know, urban farming, organic farming for their homes, because now we are more concerned about what we're putting in our bodies, like in detail. How are you managing these pests and diseases in the organic way? So
in organic farming, I think the foundation is soil. So if you have the good soil, like if it's really healthy, like if you look at our beds, by the way, this is not red soil. It's very moist and it's, you know, porous and all that. So we use compost. So the foundation is having good soil.
Right.
If you have good soil, then when you plant your plant, one, it will be strong enough to fight disease when it gets disease, or it won't get sick. So it's just like a child. And then now other things would be like how you grow the space in terms of lighting. Make sure the plant is getting enough sunlight. It's not too moist, because that is where you breed diseases.
Right.
And then now companion planting. And then also the kind of rotation planting. So it's a lot of things together.
All together.
Yes, which you grasp over time and just see what really works for you.
Si kila mtu akona ile knowledge yenye you have the advantage of having. So hata anashindwa, umesema good soil, hii yako si red soil, hii mchanga niende wapi?
Ideally what you do, you get your kitchen waste. There's something called vermiliquid, vermicompost. All these are organic fertilizers and organic pesticides.
Right.
So you get your kitchen waste, put it in a bin. There's a bin which you can get in some of the shops. And there's worms you even put in that will break down the kitchen waste. And then from that you can get vermiliquid, vermicompost, which you use in the garden.
Right.
In our case, this compost, we actually compost organic matter. So trees, so all the things, because in the showground, then there's a lot of things we collect. Matawi, nini, we compost it, and then it composts over a long time.
Shebet, now there's someone who's listening na anataka hii mbegu ya marigolds.
Yes.
Inakaa aje, atoe wapi, ndo ipeleke pale kwa shamba yake, so that it can attract the good insects like you told us.
Yes. So seeds you can get from seed shops, but for organic farming, you also need to learn how to store your seeds. So you harvest your seeds. Kama sasa for this marigold, as you can see, after flowering, you have these seeds. It's so easy to grow.
Easy ndo mbegu.
Easy ndo mbegu. So yes.
So utatoa alafu.
So itakauka kabisa. So hata zishamwagika, unaona? This is how it propagates itself.
Okay.
So other marigolds will just grow there and
From
you can
here.
transplant, yes.
All right. So I don't have to take them and go put them anywhere, but I can...
You can save seeds, but they also naturally disperse itself, so you can come, remove seeds to transfer, yes.
All right.
Yes.
So hata ule mwenye akona shamba tu yake mahali large scale,
yes.
this is something that they can put in the farm.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
All right, now talk to us about the importance of a raised bed.
So one I would like to clarify that it doesn't have to be a wooden raised bed like that. There are different raised beds. It could be made of, for the urban, it's more like, you know, easy to it's beautiful. It's easy to harvest, as you can see. It's having a cleaner garden, so you don't feel like ni matope nini. The kids can harvest. But also, just traditionally, even in shags, you'd find raised beds. So it's just trying to like make a bed on the normal farm to just loosen up the soil. Also, you find that for most of the urban spaces, they don't have good soil in the backyard. Maybe they've done it again and again, it's a small space. So when we bring raised beds, we are able to bring in healthy soil, so like compost and all that. So as you can look at this raised bed has like 4 layers of organic matter. So we've done carton boxes below, we've done trees and twigs, we've done like leaves and all that, and then now we've done compost at the top. So they keep on composting, and eventually you can just turn it around and, you know, have a healthy garden.
Good.
Yes.
Right, so as we walk to the other side of the farm, naona hapa pia kuna different
vegetables
from what we saw on this side. What is the addition here? Naona malenge.
Addition, kuna red cabbage, kuna kale, kale, kuna more dania, kuna celery. Kuna malenge. So unaona tunatumia tu fence, badala ya fence kukaa hivyo, unaweka malenge, wenye tunakula matawi ya malenge, then you can do that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So huyu ni ule ambaye atatumia a raised bed.
Yes.
But there's another way of practicing urban farming. Na hii tunaita aje hapa?
This is a stand which we use in our, you know, to kind of display the herbs we have here. But this could also be a vertical garden. Because as you can see, it's vertical and it's taken up a lot of plants. So you can also use this in your balcony, and I'll also show you more concepts of how to do like vertical gardens in a smaller space.
Okay, so what crops work best for such an arrangement?
I would say mostly herbs. If you are to do a bigger container, it wouldn't be as big, you know, so maybe a salad or like herbs for a balcony, So things you can harvest every other day.
From your experience, given that also you've traveled to different parts of the world, why do you think it's very important for us to go organic and people in the urban centers to participate in growing what they eat?
It's important to know where your food comes from. Organic farming is farming that, you know, you don't use pesticides which are harmful to our bodies, and you're also conserving the environment. So it's a sustainable way of farming. So organic farming is good to ensure we're living healthy, and especially now because of the high prevalence of lifestyle diseases, hypertension, cancers, all these things. It's really important for us to know where our food comes from.
Wanasema hata taste ni tofauti.
Ni tofauti.
Kitu ambacho kimekuzwa in an organic way, kule ambacho it's been grown using chemical pesticide. Is it true that you feel
it's very true
difference in taste? Have you experienced that?
I have. I think if you eat something from shags, everyone would, you know, admit that if you ate something in shags and eat it here in Nairobi, and worst of all, eat it somewhere else in the world, like in more urban cities, there's a very huge difference. And mainly because for organic farming, say tomatoes, for example, would ripen in the farm and you'd collect it when it's fully ripe, you see? But for some of these inorganic ways, you'll find that people would even spray chemicals to like quickly fasten the ripening of a tomato. So that tomato will not taste the same.
Yes. So I'm sure the journey is not 100% easy.
Yes.
Lazima kukuwe na changamoto ambazo unapitia as a young farmer, and also someone who's doing her best to make sure that she's practicing sustainable agriculture through organic farming. What are those challenges that you have met in your journey?
If I can show you the first kitchen garden I did, the vegetables were looking terrible.
Makosa uliyofanya that time.
Makosa, I didn't know much about the soil. I didn't know how to make sure you have, you know, seedling, a healthy seedling, because all that really matters.
So if you're giving tips, kwa ule mtu ambaye anataka kuingia katika hii mambo ya organic farming, and you just want to tell them some do's and don'ts, what can you tell them?
One, I would say, have healthy soil. 2, I would say look for the right space. If, for example, your space is a balcony, know what you can grow and what you cannot grow. Is it well drained? Is it, do I have enough sunlight? Do I have water? Some people even start farming and they don't have water. And then also just make sure you use, organic. You have the organic manure, organic fertilizers. Right. And then also make sure you scout your garden. Scouting your garden is, in organic farming, you don't cure, you prevent. And which I think should be the case even with us human beings, with our health, that you do prevention more than treatment.
All right, so we have given our viewers 2 options so far: a raised
bed and vertical garden.
There's more.
There's more.
What more can I do as an urban person who wants to participate in growing the food I eat?
So if we are talking about a balcony, you can do a vertical garden. This could also work in a balcony.
Right.
Where it's like a trough and it has wheels, so you can easily roll it over. It's portable.
So what have we grown here?
This is terere.
Nice.
This is terere.
And it's really healthy.
Yeah, and then we have celery here. And then there's also grow bags. Which
gunia, 2 sacks.
Gunia, 2 sacks.
Grow bags are the
No, gunia. You can also do sacks where you grow vertically and make holes.
Why are we doing those holes?
So you can plant into, So like how this has been planted.
Oh, so umetengeneza kashimo kapanda kengine. So it's more of maximizing
the space. But with this, you have to make sure you're changing soil after every harvest season. Juu mchanga imeisha, like mbolea. So most of the time you have to keep on fertilizing.
All right, so when we walk towards this other side, pia naona you can utilize buckets.
You can utilize buckets. Actually, as long as you have anything that is safe, like a container that won't have any sort of poison or anything, any container, ata like old sufurias nini, make a hole in it, put in the soil. That's a space already.
Na mtungi pia?
Yeah, mtungi. Yes.
So there's basically no excuse for
There's no excuse to be like it's expensive or like it's what. No. Yeah.
All right. Now remember also today we are celebrating Mazingira.
Yes.
And I want to know what your contribution yako towards this day. What are you doing to make sure that we are, safeguarding our environment and also just marking Mazingira Day as we should be?
So I think for me, it's educating people. We also teach kids and adults about organic farming. So it's educating people about doing things in an organic way, and we also do edible landscaping. So with the edible landscaping, we're like, okay, grow a tree, but grow something that feeds people. So I believe that Mazingira is better when you're also not growing just ornamental trees, but also edible trees, which would cover things like food security and such stuff.
Right.
Yes.
So neza panda mti ya machungwa.
Mti ya machungwa, avocado.
Right.
Yes.
What do you think is holding back people from practicing agriculture? Wale watu ambao wako kwa town.
First, how we were brought up. I grew up in a farm. I'm happy to do this and I know the importance of it. And then the other thing is just sensitization on like how important is it for you to like say eat healthy. So if it's really important for you, then you'll find these people who really know the importance of knowing what they eat would go for farming. At the same time, someone who's not grown up seeing these or like in such an environment or even knowing the importance of doing it might actually not go for it.
Right.
So at times we even find that we teach kids, and some parents would even tell their kids usishike mchanga. So for them the priority would be like you're getting dirty without thinking no, you're growing something. And research has shown that kids who grow their food have a higher chance of eating that food.
There's the whole organic food is quite expensive.
Yeah.
Utaamka tu kila siku unaenda
I know.
Because it can be quite costly, but maybe if we do it a lot more, inaweza fika.
If we do it a lot more, and if you also have shags, for example, I know people also get food from shags. I know people get food and maybe store something like this or what. So if you can get that food, or like if you grow your own, hiyo ndani iko kwa balcony yenye umepanda kwa mkebe uli recycle ya mafuta or something, that is not expensive.
Right. Now speaking of the young people, a young person like you who is very passionate about agriculture, we want to see a lot more of us doing the same.
Yes.
What do you think it will take for us to get there?
No, I feel like we need to educate more, like what you're doing as a young woman, having such a show. It's an inspiration. I'm sure there's a young woman somewhere who looks at you, a young man, and they're really proud. So if you have more people in these spaces like you do, and more platforms to just like encourage people, if you have like, even like with organic kitchen gardens, educating kids in schools, in such spaces, then we're going to make it feel cool. So I know eventually we're going to get there, and then there are things that will force us to do that, like diseases which clearly are catching up with us.
Right, now as we wind up, I want you to tell us, you've been here, does agriculture pay? Can a young person get into agriculture, afanya mambo yake bila main hustle kwingine, alafu agriculture ndio side hustle, and they get their good money, waishi vizuri. Does it pay? Have you enjoyed
the
joys of the moolah?
That's a bit of a tricky question. Because, well, for me, it's really passion. It's really passion. Like how I started it and how I'm doing it, it's really passion. Well, I have a side hustle. I feel like these would pay eventually, like well pay eventually, in a way that you can be like, it can just be like the main business.
Right.
So it's keeping at it. It's keeping at it, working hard, and also just being smart and like thinking out of the box. Because even what we do is really like thinking out of the box.
Agriculture is a game of patience.
Yes.
Ukiangalia ukulima ambayo wazazi wako walikuwa wanafanya na yenye unafanya saizi, how different is yours?
Mine is simpler.
Yours is simpler, all right.
I think so. I think it's simpler. With them, they're probably dealing with bigger farms and maybe doing one crop. Theirs was thorough. They would go to the farm and dig and watch. Mine, it's like an office. I mean, I've already done the weeding in like a few minutes. Yes.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Chebet. Thank you so much for speaking to us and showing us different ideas that we can deploy for those who are living in the urban spaces.
Yes.
Hakuna excuse ya kusema
there's no excuse. Everyone can do it.
Raised bed, kuna
vertical, kuna containers, kuna sacks.
Yes. Anything that you have at home, you can recycle and make it your mini garden. And eat healthy. And live long.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lina.
All right, there you go. On this Mazingira Day, we're not just sensitizing you about growing, ornamental trees, but we're also sensitizing you about growing fruit trees. Kitu ambacho utakula, I believe you'll enjoy growing that more. And also just being involved in organic farming, because that helps in saving the environment and ensuring that agriculture is sustainable. And that is exactly what Chebet is doing right here, and urging every single farmer and the young people who are watching us to get into. Thank you so much for watching our feature, but as usual, we still do have a lot more coming up on the program. It was such a fantastic conversation with Chebet there, who's very passionate about organic farming, urban farming, and also just sustainable agriculture, which she's doing by making sure that she's not using chemical fertilizers and pesticides, which go a long way in degrading our environment. And now watu wa town, mabonta, watu ambao wanaishi in the urban centers, hamna excuse ya kusema I cannot participate in agriculture, because we have given you different options from the raised beds. Kama unataka kutumia gunia, ukimalizia mkebe ya mafuta pale kwa nyumba, you can cut it and convert it into your mini garden. And also we have what we call hydroponics. All that you can put it in your backyard, in your balcony, and you will be contributing to sustainable agriculture and food security in the country. And with that, it's time for us to take our first short commercial break, but do not go anywhere, because when we come back, we will be joined by a very young guest who's very passionate when it comes to all matters environment and using the tools that we have here. Unaona hii set iko na mambo mengi. Hapa tuko na seedling, hapa ndani, let me just touch it for you so that you believe me. We do have mchanga hapa ndani, and we have our watering can, tuko na jembe pale, and few more seedlings in studio. Our young guest will be teaching us the correct way of planting trees. Today is Mazingira Day. That is our agenda, but how do you do it correctly so that many years later, your tree is still up and standing? That is the conversation we will be having when we come back from this short commercial break. But as usual, we do have to tease our farm joke question of the day. Na ya leo ni ngumu kidogo. Nimekuwa nikiwapatia rahisi sana, so nimeamua nikuwe mkali kidogo. And the question we are asking you today, what kind of flower grows on your face? What kind of flower grows on your face? So if you're looking for a clue, enda tu kwa kioo, look at your face, look at the parts that are there, kama ni mapua, kama ni mdomo, kama ni masikio. Just think and you'll get the answer. See you after this break with a lot more.